All right, so now I've owned the Ford Maverick Hybrid for about 6 months now, and I could finally go over a list of the things I hate the most about it. So today we're going to go over the 8 things I hate the most about this Ford Maverick, the Hateful 8. Number 8 is right here, this rotary shifter. Now you might be a fan of the shifter knob, but I am not, and this is a preference thing, of course. I just don't like the way you shift gears by turning this knob. I don't think it's as intuitive. I would have liked a shifter handle gear or at least a shifter up here, but this rotary shifter, I'm not a fan. That's why it's number 8. Okay, number 7 is the AC, and it's kind of a general statement. What I don't like about the AC is actually 2 things. Is that one is that it's a little inconsistent. So while you're driving, and for whatever reason, the hybrid engine, it shifts mode, and then all of a sudden the AC is really powerful, and then it goes back down to what setting I had it at, and it goes back up to real powerful, then back. And I actually don't really know when it happens. I think it's when the hybrid battery runs low and it needs a little bit of extra amperage to charge up that hybrid battery when you're on the freeway. But the AC kicks up and then it kicks back down. So that's one part of the AC I don't like. Another part is that here, let's say I have it on this setting with recirculate AC, and I turn off the motor. And you'll see that when I turn the engine back on, this is gone. So it forgot my setting. So it doesn't want to keep a memory of what I had it at. So that's pretty annoying. So that's why it's number 7, the AC. So number 6 is right here. It's this key. This key is not a fob. It's just a normal remote key, and you have to stick it in the ignition and you have to turn it to turn on the car. So it's not a fob, and there's no push button start. And I could live without the push button start, but I don't like having to take my key out of my pocket every time and push lock, unlock. I just want to be able to walk up to my car and it recognizes that I'm in the area and I'm holding the key, and it allows me to open my door. So all my other newer cars do it, and this is a new car. It should not be a problem, and it's not expensive to be a fob. So that's why it's number 6 on my most hated things, this key. Okay, number 5 is something I actually really wanted to like, and it's this hold feature. And what it is that, for instance, I call it my drive-through feature, where if you put it on hold, you're going through the drive-through, and you take your foot off the gas, it won't lurch forward. It'll hold your position until you actually give it some gas, and then you start moving. And that sounds great, and other cars have it. Electric cars often have that type of hold feature, like my Tesla. But the problem is, here I'm on hold, but I'm going to let go of the brake, and the car's not moving anywhere. And the transition is just so I don't know if you noticed it. It's very rough. As light as I try to be with my foot, it still gives me a little lurch. Let's see that again. All right, see? And if you're in a drive-through and you just lurch forward like that with a car that's only 5 feet in front of you, that's not fun. So this hold mode, yes, I could just leave it off, and which I do. I do not turn it on, but it's something I actually really wanted to like, but I hate. So it's always off. So that's why it's number 5. Okay, so number 4 most hated is definitely not a preference thing. Nobody likes these. They're recalls, safety recalls. Now, I've only had the car for 6 months, and I have 2 safety recalls already, and that's a bit much. I've had recalls in other cars before, but not 2 within 6 months of just owning the car. No, that doesn't happen. And a lot of people say, oh, that Ford recall stuff is blown out of proportion. I don't think so. I already got a couple. All right, that brings us to number 3, and number 3 is pretty darn annoying, and it's the drive mode reset. So the Ford Maverick has a few drive modes where you could drive on slippery roads when you're hauling something, normal mode, and what I prefer to be on is fuel economy mode, and that mode gets reset every time you turn off your car. So down here is a switch where you could change your driving mode, And if you're in this screen, you got to click 5 before you drive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you'll see a little leaf show up, and now I'm on economy mode. But as soon as I turn off my engine, I am no longer on economy mode. When I turn back on my car, once we're through this screen, you'll see I am back on regular driving mode. I have to, when I'm on this screen, I have to click it 4 times instead of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's super annoying. That's why it's number 3 on my most hated list. Click 5 before you drive. Okay, I talked about number 2 in my previous videos before, and it's number 2 most hated thing. It's the braking. The braking, when you're driving at high speeds and you slow down, it's going to be a smooth braking. But when you're at a stop or going at slow speeds, you let go and you want to start slowing down again. You slightly touch the pedal and then it just slams, because once the brakes transition from the regenerative braking to the disc pad braking, the transition is very rough and it engages immediately and your car lurches forward. That is super annoying, and that's why it's number 2 on my most hated. Alright, so now for the most part I've been really enjoying owning my Ford Maverick. I think it's a great car. I was really looking forward to it from the day I ordered the car till the day I got it. I was just always in anticipation of when am I going to get my car. So that leads me to the most hated thing about the Ford Maverick, and that is the weight. Now, if you tried to put a deposit or tried to order one, you'll realize the wait is extreme. It's, minimum 6 months, if not well over a year for the wait, and that wait sucks for such a great car. So that's the number 1 most hated thing, is the wait.